Bad news for those of us who are against media consolidation. Over the weekend, AT&T has agreed to buy out one of its biggest competitors. Yes, according to many different news outlets, AT&T has agreed to purchase Time Warner, which is the home of HBO and CNN, for a total of $85.4 billion. Billion. Now, of course, this means more consolidation and less competition, and of course, less choices. I mean, we've already seen this a lot of consolidation just this year, with Lionsgate buying out Stars for $4.4 billion, and the Redstone family, which controls both CBS and Viacom, suggesting that, hey, you know what? You two should get back together, because at one point they were one company, they split. Now they're saying, hey, let's consolidate, let's get back together. Oh boy, this is not good. Now the article in the New York Times points out that they have a reason that they're saying that they're consolidating. Well, we've got competition from Netflix, Amazon Prime, and YouTube. And look, we're losing a lot of younger people. So, look, we need to consolidate. We need to get together and form a super corporation because we can't survive. Now, one of the reasons that I think that young people are leaving is exactly because of this consolidation, where you've got less competition, you've got less choice. Not to mention, I know a lot of millennials that are cable cutters. Cut the cord because it's too expensive to justify paying for it. And that consolidation is going to lead to higher prices. And that's something that I think, I mean, I'm a millennial. Yes, I'm still a millennial. I can't afford. And there are others that just choose to not pay. Like, what are we paying for? Are we paying for CNN? Are we paying for MSNBC? Come on. Those news channels are a joke. They instead go to online news and different places for online entertainment. As I said, Netflix, YouTube, etc. And of course, I did mention the news programming. Well, they've got an establishment bias because, of course, there are 6, now maybe less, media corporations that own all these different news outlets, these different stations, and that number continues to go down. So I don't see anything good coming from this merger. Ron, what do you think?
This merger is among the more dangerous. And first of all, I mean, all mergers like this are never really good things, especially for the consumer. But this one in particular, first of all, as you pointed out, Time Warner, they own CNN, they own other outlets. Also, AT&T was at one point, in the telephone business, and so there's a hardware component here too. There's an online video component. So when you list all of the things from hardware components to online video to outlets that make content, they're all going to be under this big umbrella. So, and AT&T also, to thicken the pot here, AT&T has a history of being against net neutrality. And if this merger were to go through, they'd be going after net neutrality as quick as they could because they have all the tools in their arsenal to really be a juggernaut that even some of the other, even like a Comcast, might not be able to compete with. I mean, when you think about all the components, when you line up Time Warner and AT&T next to each other and put them under one umbrella, that is way too much in one entity, and that could really further monopolize, what we have as far as access to the internet, as far as media, as far as content, and they would be going after net neutrality really quick. And regardless of who is in the White House, I don't think you have much confidence in either one of those two to protect it.
Yeah, and think about it this way too, and just a number of how much money they used to buy Time Warner, $85 billion. If they've got that enough, that much money to throw around on acquiring, other companies, think how much money they have to lobby our congressmen, how much money to give in political donations to different congressmen to try to eliminate net neutrality. I mean, you're right, this is dangerous. This company already wields so much power, and we're allowing them to continue to amass more. It really is not. It's not a good situation, especially if you believe in actual competition. Why aren't conservatives up in arms over this whole thing? I thought that they were supposed to be in favor of competition. I mean, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Donald Trump actually did speak out against it. He said it was way too much power in one hand. Although I think the only reason he's against it is because CNN is involved and because he's worried that the company would be too big for even him to sue. So I don't think it's genuine on his part. Clinton has been less hard hitting about it. Like a spokesperson just kind of said, "Oh, well, this raises some eyebrows," and I know Tim Kaine spoke out some about it. And this is kind of classic Clinton to be silent on a lot of issues, which I think calls into question the type of leader she would be when she plays it so status quo on the campaign trail.
Right. Yeah, all in all, I mean, look, you kind of do got to give Donald Trump half credit for actually saying that this is a bad deal, even if it is self-centered or self-motivated. But then again, what Hillary Clinton is also doing is more self-serving, and that's protecting the status quo and the establishment. And just kind of shows that, no matter what choices that we seem to have, with the exception of Jill Stein, which I don't know if she's come out with any sort of statement on this, but I assume.
Yeah, I mean it's still early on. I guess we should kind of be, fair here and say it is still early on.
No. I was saying
Hillary
that she
might still say something.
Yeah.
Bernie has said something.
Yeah. No, what I was going to get around to is I'm pretty sure that Jill Stein would be like, this is a terrible idea. This is a bad idea. Mm-hmm. She just hasn't come out with it yet as far as I've seen. And I'm sure a statement on this is forthcoming. No, all due respect to Jill Stein here. I'm not trying to dump on her or anything like that.
Right. Well, not even just her, but I was also saying, to be fair to Hillary. I mean, as of right now, she's been, pretty much silent on it, but she might still say something.
It's possible. Look, if there's enough pressure and a public outrage about this media consolidation business, then look, the Clintons are classic poll watchers. I mean, we know that. We've known that about Bill for a long, long time. He triangulates. He watches the polls. He sees what's popular. He sees what's unpopular, and he takes that position publicly. Well, I don't expect anything different from Hillary Clinton. She'll probably take, if there's enough outrage, a public position of, yeah, we should probably watch over this merger and make sure that it's well regulated, or even step in to stop it with antitrust laws, which we can do.
Well, the scary thing here is there may be a way, and I read about a recent loophole, they may be able to try to get through this without any pressure from the FCC, meaning that the Department of Justice would kind of be our only hope here to stop this merger from happening. And AT&T has a long history of opposition with the FCC. There's a few kind of loopholes that they may be able to just kind of bypass the FCC, which of course they're going to do if they're able to. So it might come down to the Department of Justice. That might be our only line of defense to try to stop this thing from happening. And if this happens, this could be, the internet could be cable television 2.0, net neutrality could go away. For people like me and you, Jeff, of course, we know how much that endangers our livelihoods. We know the danger that is for the independent media landscape. We know the danger that is for democracy. And, Hillary Clinton's plan would be, prices aren't going to go up because I'm going to ask the companies nicely not to.
Yeah, boy, that kind of reminds me of the time where she came down and told the banks to what did she say?
Cut it out.
Play nice.
That's what she told them. She marched right down to the bank. She told them to
cut it out.
And you know what they did? They crashed the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it worked out.
And Donald
really
Trump
well.
Wouldn't be much better. He's
would.
Speaking out against these mergers for selfish reasons, but it's scary that there's no. Obama, to his credit, came out against net neutrality. He waited until the 11th hour, but he still came out in favor of preserving net neutrality. Right. Tom Wheeler listened. We did hold the lines that time. But this time, I don't have as much confidence. And I'll tell you what, if this merger happens, they're going to be gunning after that as quick as they can.
Yeah, look, you brought up a great point about the whole Obama thing. And the reason that he came out against it, and the reason that Tom Wheeler also came out in favor of net neutrality, is the fact that we put so much public pressure. And it's not just, people power, which is incredibly powerful, but there were a lot of companies that were also against that. So ironically, we do have some allies in the corporate world, in Silicon Valley that
Yeah, Google's
are,
not a bad friend to have.
yeah, yeah, Google, yes, and look, we're on a Google platform. Let's be honest, right? But we're not.
Right.
But we're still saying that, hey, they were in favor of protecting net neutrality. You also have Mozilla, the Firefox browser. Those are the guys behind it that are also in favor of a free and open internet. So, we do have allies in powerful places when it comes to that. So not even, I mean, it would be difficult, but maybe we could put up so much opposition between people power and our corporate allies, which is strange to say, but on this issue we have them to even fight against AT&T and if they happen to merge with Time Warner into this behemoth. We could still fight that. I mean, David versus
Oh, of course
Goliath,
we could.
right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not trying to be like sky is falling here, but we should recognize the potential danger of this merger and recognize this is not just another, oh man, that's a drag, it's a consolidation. This is a big one. This is a big one. These are like the two. This is like the New York Yankees of mergers here as far as media consolidation. We don't want this one to happen.
No, we don't. So there's still time. I mean, like we could still put pressure at least to have this regulated or go to the have them be hit with antitrust stuff if this merger goes through. It's not final. They've already agreed, but it's not final. So maybe we've got some time to fight against this. But
Absolutely.
hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent, non-corporate media, go to our Patreon page and become a patron. Patreon.com/TYTNation.